Hi, Asher here. We've been writing a lot about creating policies and procedures, and it's probably not the most exciting thing about cybersecurity. Matter of fact, it's probably the most boring, monotonous stuff you can do. But yet, when you look at how to build a successful program, you really need these policies because policy is like a written agreement. Somehow you agree and you put it in writing, and at some point it gets approved by leadership that, yeah, this is what we want for the company. And oftentimes I come into a business with my own preconceived ideas, and it's really a great way to get it on writing and have leadership look at it and then kind of customize it to their culture. And when that happens, it's really the catalyst that we need to finally get all the things that we computer nerds, security nerds get excited about. All the security controls and the technology and the resources that we need, they don't actually, I find that they're more challenging to get approved, get budget for, get departmental managers to approve their personnel resources. But when we have a policy there that supports it, that says that, yeah, this is what leadership wants and this is what we have to do, it's a lot easier to get that traction. So, again, policies, procedures, policies are more that thing that we have to do. If I have to give some tips on it, I think keeping it as simple as possible. Brevity is really a great thing in policy. Just come right out and say what it is that we're trying to achieve here. What's the goal of this policy? What's the purpose of it? And then how do we make sure that we're achieving it? Get it in writing, get it down, keep it simple. If you can, keep it to one page, one and a half at the most. Sometimes the document will be bigger because we might add a roles and responsibilities section or a revision section, definitions, things like that. But really, we should be able to succinctly say what the policy should do. This article here, I've written a couple of policy examples and put them up here as templates to save you guys time. Hopefully, get some traction. And I hope to do this more. I'm actually working with a client on an acceptable use policy. I have a few of those, but I'm very careful. I try to just write them free form on my own whenever I share something from my website. Just because other customers, they invest money into building this to customize to their company. So I don't like to share those. But developing policy, it's really good to talk about the scope of what it includes. Recently, we've been talking about asset management just because it's so critical to NIST and CIS. And a lot of the clients that I engage with, they actually don't have a mature asset management policy or procedure. And they'll just kind of look at one technology as being the source of truth of their assets, and oftentimes it's a false sense of security. So really developing this policy and process is really fundamental to building the rest of the program. And so when you do that, start with scope. If it's brand new to you, start with something very simple like asset management for end user compute devices that are company owned. And there's a couple things that I found in there. You've got infrastructure and you've got endpoints. Endpoints can be computers, laptops, printers, mobile devices. So you kind of have these two categories. Then you have on-prem and you have off-prem, and then you have company-owned and you've got non-company owned. So you might have a mobile device that's company owned, company provisioned, and you might have a mobile device such as a cell phone that's employee owned, but yet it has access to company resources. So by using those couple, like that matrix of organization, it can help kind of build that roadmap to what do you want this asset management policy to include at this time, and then how do you mature with time and based on the capabilities and the size of your company. So yep, keep it simple. Think about keeping it short and brief and including the scope in that. And then we've got other resources here. So if there's things that you're doing that you feel would help your process or anybody else's, please put them in the comments section. It's great. to hear feedback from readers, see what you're doing. It can benefit everybody. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I wish you luck in developing your asset management program. It's a really good thing. And once you get that done, a lot of these other things are easier to put in place, and you can measure and track them a lot better too. So, all right, wish you luck.